Hi, I want to discuss schools with you. Okay, how do we approach currently the school situation? We teach based on an old concept, maybe 100 years old, and we create the perception that teachers are intelligent. And there is a fundamental flaw in teachers. Vinod Krishna, for example, says we need to get rid of teachers, and we have to find a way how to approach this problem. There are fundamental dimensions how we can escape the current system and improve it. And one way is to get rid of teachers. Other than that, there is the question of the frontal concept, frontal teaching concept. Should we teach frontline or should we do tutoring? These are the basic points. And what we might have to do is to change the concept of teachers. We have to do multiple things, such as a cost-benefit analysis. And the question is not cost-benefit, because the problem is that every life matters, and we have to find a way how to make the best out of every people life. And the problem is also that IQ differences matter, and we can make somebody more intelligent, or maybe we can do somebody more intelligent. And the question is how we do it. And IQ is a factor, but also there are more nuanced ways on how to make a difference in somebody's lives. And we have to discuss the fundamental principles of what does a successful life means. We have to find the goal before we find a way. And when we found the goal, what is a good life, or how to approach a good life in an individual manner, then we might find a solution for education, because the goal matters, and we can't say that education as a general factor or as a general factor matters, in the sense that education is good and no education is bad. Education can't be bad if you do it in one country, but then we have to find the value of education as a whole concept. We have to find the common views of intelligence, or what is a good life, and we have to discuss the central points of what is the goal. The goal matters, and when we found the goal of what is a good life, or what can education do for a good life, we need to ask fundamental questions. There is a whole, it's a much more nuanced topic than I can discuss in this video, because there are so many factors on how we should run a society, and other factors, and which education leads to which outcomes. This has to be measured, and the measured and quantified way, it's probably the right way. We have to measure the outcome of education, and we have to run experiments with fundamental different concepts. And then we might find the answer on how to approach education. And it's partly an entrepreneurial and partly a way how to discuss things, or a scientific approach, and partly a philosophical approach. There needs to be what needs to be done is that there needs to be a group of people have come together and they need money, like $1 billion maybe. And they have to run experiments on which education is the right approach for the future. And then we have to scale it when we found the right solution. There needs to be fundamental experiments and approaches. We have to discuss and experiment with approaches for several years. And then we have to find common ground on what's important and what's less important. And then we have to scale it. It's like running a company, and all the talk that is about what is the right approach is mostly wasted energy, because they miss the point that we don't know the answer. When you measure something, then there's the hidden assumptions fall away, and the discussions are necessary for some people, but they miss the point that discussions, they reality is more complex than than discussions. Discussions are only good for when you found the right solutions, or when you discuss your solutions, your experiments. And these thoughts are not that great when you don't live in a quantified reality. You have to measure these assumptions on on a real real values. You have to measure your values on assumptions that are based on reality to quantify it. And this is also a general problem in higher education, that they don't have reality as a factor to measure it. They think in terms that their solutions are right, that they know the answer. But they mostly don't know the answer, because thinking is limited by the factor reality. You have to become an entrepreneur to really change the society. This is the only way. The only way to measure reality and to radically change your thinking is to become an entrepreneur. You can become a clear thinker when you go the education path. And this is why my solutions are probably more valuable than the talks that I heard.